everybody, welcome back to some more Planet Coaster time-lapse. Remember, leave a like if you are enjoying these time-lapses and want to continue to see more on the channel. I had trouble with this one. There were a couple different ideas I threw around. Like, I thought about doing like a Tomorrowland or sort of a retro-futuristic area. And I don't know, I had trouble with it. But I just decided to settle on my tribute to my favorite ride in Disneyland, which is the Thunder Canyon Railroad, which is kind of it's in Frontierland, which is the western area, so this is kind of inspired by that. We don't have the red rocks or anything, so you can't really do it as much, but you know, that was the general idea, sort of western mining, that sort of feel to it. So I decided to do some terraforming, trying to get a nice little hill up there for me to go down and just kind of flip around. It's a very casual roller coaster. Again, it's not one that has a lot of rolls and turns and spins and stuff, but it's just definitely a little roller coaster. Because I didn't want to do one of those because honestly, the roller coaster I'm kind of modeling it after in my head, it wasn't like that. Also, you can't do rolls and stuff with this particular one. You can only do it with specific ones because it depends on the car. So that's okay. I didn't want to do them anyway. So probably the next roller coaster we'll build will be a very extreme one. And I kind of just had this one wrapping around, and then I knew it was gonna. I accidentally clicked autocomplete there. I thought that was pretty funny. It completes it no matter what. But then I had some hills because I had some ideas for placing buildings and different structures all the way around the park. Then just bring it out and around. At some point, I do just decide to autocomplete it because I decided, okay, that looks all right. There we go, just testing to make sure it can get all the way around. It slows down quite a bit, but I mean, it's in good places that'll allow you to kind of enjoy the scenery. So I thought that came out okay. And then I decided to start working on the building around it. I would just place these initially just so I could figure out where exactly I needed the entrance and exit. Because I always end up putting them in weird places, and then I have to kind of build the building around them. But then I decided, okay, it's probably just easier to do this. And I was waiting for it to become daytime so I could go to pause time. Because I don't like building at nighttime, just because it's harder to see. So at some point around here, I do pause the clock just so we can stay daytime while we continue to work on the build. And again, it would be cool if we had like the red rocks, then I could make it look a little nicer. But I just decided this works, so we're just going to kind of spread everywhere, kind of make it look like dark or like a quarry or some sort of rock mining area. And then just filling in some of these gaps here. I thought it would be cool to have like a whole rock wall right up there. I tried a whole bunch of different things this episode. Some of them work, some of them don't. It's just still a learning process for me, trying to figure out what exactly I like. I know I wanted some sort of structure in here. Maybe some sort of like a garage or storage place, or maybe where the factory workers or miners live. I was just trying out some different things. Using the wood, which I haven't actually built too much with in the past. And I wanted to do an original roof instead of just using one of the roof pieces this time. So I'm playing around with different materials to try and find a good roof. And I'm learning a lot more about this precise angling tool that you can use and kind of just place things along. And I'm getting a lot better at it. You can see, just place one, slide the other over, place one, slide the other over. It works really well, and you can make some really interesting and unique things because they're not the set pieces that the game has. So even though the game has set pieces that it wants you to use, it allows you to manipulate the objects in such a way that you can pretty much just make it whatever you want. So, see, look at that. I can just fill in these gaps just by kind of just moving this around, and it makes these cool little patterns in the wood that really don't look too bad. I mean, it looks relatively natural. Well, natural in a way that, like, believable. I guess not natural, because it is a man-made structure. Then just finishing up on this side over here. Sliding these up there. And I kind of got lazy on the roof. Actually, I didn't. I don't know. I was like, oh, do I want to make a custom one, or I can just use just the floor panels or the roof panels, just like the walls. Ended up looking all right. And then I wanted to do some decorating all along here. So standard doors, windows, lights. I do eventually have like a smokestack on top that I thought looks pretty neat. And then just again detailing all the way around makes it look a lot nicer. I've been struggling with different ideas. People keep recommending YouTubers for me to go watch. I try and avoid that because if I go watch them, then like either subconsciously or consciously, I'll end up copying them. And that's a tough thing for me because I don't want to copy people. But so what I've been doing is I've been looking up actual pictures of actual theme parks because I think that's a nice middle ground there. So that's kind of inspired me to do this. It made me think about the Thunder Canyon Mountain once again that I used to love in Disneyland, which I haven't been quite a long time. I used to go, I went for 4 years in a row just because it was our band trip when I was in band in high school, so I went for freshman through senior year. Haven't been back since. I was going to try and go this summer with a girlfriend, but with the Chicago trip and stuff and getting ready for the move, just wasn't really in the schedule or the budget. Alright, and then I'm just adding a little tunnel over there. I thought that looked pretty cool. It kind of looks like a mine shaft. And just kind of dressing it up a little bit. Put these lights in there just so they'll have a little bit of a warm glow coming out there. And then I randomly just stuck a skull on the side of the mountain. I don't know why. You can't even see the skull. But again, it was just something to break up the blandness or break up the pattern. That's something I think really helps make things look organic this game. You've heard my rant before. And I found those little metal pieces. Said they could be a cool chimney. And then remembered, I eventually do remember that we do have those smoke things, the things that just shoot smoke, so those might look pretty cool. And then just building a little tower over here. Not really sure why. It doesn't really go too well with the theme, but you know, it looks alright. Maybe it's like a silo or something. And then I unpause the game. There you go. So you can actually see the smoke coming out. Looks pretty cool. Trying to figure out if I want to have some smoke coming out of there. If you can imagine some sort of exhaust there. And then I decided to work on the actual structure for the ride. You're going to make it similar to the one behind it. And I kind of like the alley it makes there where the coaster cuts between the two buildings. I think it looks really cool. And there was kind of a happy accident here. So you can see where I put the coaster. It's actually going to block me from part of the building. Which is like, oh, that's unfortunate because then I can't complete the building. But it looks cool because it kind of just cuts right through it. Like once the actual structure is complete, I think it actually came out pretty well. And I keep saying the word actually and I hear it. That's why I suck at post commentary. I end up repeating the same word a lot. Actually. And then just working on detailing the outside, getting some rocks done. I decided to pull this up, kind of make it its own little rocky structure. Looks a little weird with the grass, but once we go ahead and paint it, it looks a little better. I don't know, instead of building something over there to kind of cover that area, I decided just to do that. And then I don't like these big ugly stands that every single ride needs. Fortunately, Planet Coaster, they tweeted out a picture and they are getting rid of those, so you will no longer need them at the beginning of every ride. But I just decided to cover it with rocks, make it look a little better. I just don't like having those on every single ride. And there you go. So you can see it actually looks pretty cool. I had some ideas like maybe have rocks up there for like a cave-in, but it doesn't look too bad. Then I decided to make it kind of look like maybe it smashed through there, so I added some smoke and some flames. I think it looks alright. I'm not super happy with the completely flat roof up there, but I didn't want to make another arched roof. Actually, no, I think it looks fine having the flat roof there. And I really love these wooden posts, just kind of tossing them around various different places. Looks really nice. It adds a believable like structurability to the builds. Like, you don't just want these blank walls everywhere, because I mean, if it's like an old-timey structure, then you kind of want to imagine that it's going to be held up somehow. Then just adding some scaffolding on the outside, just kind of nice little detail. I really like the scaffolding. I think they're pretty neat looking. And the whole place is coming together. I think how much more went and added to around here. Just added some little details, a campfire and these little wells. And I wanted to make like a big pit and have like fire and smoke coming out of it. I don't know why. But we just dug a hole right there. Went ahead and grabbed the flamethrower, just chucked it in there. And then grabbed the smoke VFX. There you go. Kind of sticking out of the ground there. And I was like, okay, this is looking alright. And now we moved on to, I think it's a hat stand? I think that's what I picked. I'm watching a little preview window right now. It's a little hard to see. But again, I wanted to go with like kind of an old western structure. So I looked up some pictures of Old West buildings in Frontierland. And they kind of went from there. So we're making it 2 stories. I eventually do cover up the entrance there, and I'm making a wall, so when the customers come and walk through, they'll basically just phase through the wall. Or it's a doorway, but I just liked it better than leaving it completely open. Well, I closed it off at some point. And then I just have the sides peeking up there. And then again, using the, well, we're not using it right now, but we do use it for the railing. Just the shifting. It's real nice because basically you can shift the block, click, and then it keeps it there, and it makes another one that you can just shift over. So it's super handy. You can see right here, I place it, and then I shift it, and then I click, place, shift, place, click, shift, place, click, shift. And I realized I accidentally deleted that thing. Gotta put it back. There you go. So that makes it super handy. Just make sure everything is in line, even if they're not stacking or clicking together. That's how I was able to get the roof on the first building in the canyon coaster to look so good. I really was happy with how that roof came out. Then just working on the little balcony there. Checking out the side. That side that was sticking out a little bit too much, so we pushed it back a little bit. Just give this a little bit more room. And then the blue metal looks okay. Yeah, it looks alright. I'm not super happy with that, but I guess I could have done the same thing with the wooden balconies like we did in the other building, but it doesn't look too bad. Once we get some more stuff in the building, it looks alright. And I want to add a sort of little boardwalk that you kind of have seen on these old wooden structures where they have the boardwalk kind of attached and then you can kind of go underneath the balcony. There's this old western town pretty close to mine. It's actually Tombstone. Like, I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it. There's been like a movie and pizza named after it. I do love Tombstone pizza, but I've been there, so I kind of channeled that memory, even though it was a long time ago and I was pretty young. I was very upset because my mom wouldn't let me get this little plastic bow and arrow. It was like a Nerf bow and arrow. Well, no, it wasn't Nerf. The arrows had like suction cups in it, and you can shoot them at the glass. And it was pretty cool. My mom wouldn't let me get one. I was very upset. It was the only time I ever went there. That was a bad 21st birthday. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't 21. That'd be funny though. Like, Mom, let me get the bow and arrow. She's like, no. I'm a grown-ass man. And now I completely forgot what I was talking about. Okay, yeah, adding some detail and molding all the way around. And then just added another structure of the stone walls to the outside. Then just wanted to add a little more stuff, because I mean there's going to be stuff on this boardwalk, right? So, trying to make my own potted plant didn't really work too well, so I just added 16 barrels there. Then remembered we have, there already are barrel plants in the game. Found a little ladder that was recently added, so chucked that up there. And then just found that nice little pile of very stuff. But I think that's it. Yep, so then we're going to go down first person and kind of walk around. Things always look so very cool in first person. Look how awesome that looks. Very cool. I'm glad this lady decided to go to the coaster instead of the hat store, because she would just kind of face the wall. Building's looking good. Probably going to add some exterior lights and stuff. Kind of forgot to do that. Okay, let's hurry up and get to the coaster. Any day now. There you go. Okay. Now we get to ride the coaster. I'm going to go and shut up. But leave a like if you guys did enjoy this Planet Coaster time lapse and want to see more in the future. I'll see you next time. Bye.